Hello, I'm Jane Mangold from the Agricultural Research Service and the Eastern Oregon Agricultural Research Center with today's Ag Minute. This week we will be discussing litter. I'm not talking about the litter you toss out your window as you drive down the highway. I'm talking about plant litter, and that doesn't mean litter plants toss out the window as they drive down the highway. Plant litter is dead plant material, like leaves, needles, stems, bark, and fruit that falls to the ground and accumulates. Although it often goes unnoticed, plant litter serves an important purpose in ecosystem function. It provides the majority of the organic matter that is decomposed by organisms like earthworms, termites, nematodes, and other microscopic bugs and spiders. Plant litter is broken into smaller and smaller pieces until it returns to more simple particles like nutrients and carbon that can be used by growing plants to make new leaves, needles, stems, seeds, and fruit. So even though plant litter may seem like trash to you, it provides food for soil organisms, food for other plants, and eventually even food for us. I'd like to talk more about plant litter today, focusing on how plant litter can affect the conditions at the soil surface. Litter shades the surface of the soil, which keeps it cooler and decreases evaporative losses. Litter can also help reduce wind and water erosion. This becomes extremely important in a semi-arid climate like that of the high desert, where summer temperatures can be very high, rainfall can be very low, and erosion often occurs. Revegetation projects often apply a layer of litter along with the seed to provide these benefits. Perhaps some of you have seen the coconut fiber mats that are often found on steep slopes that have been recently reseeded. On a smaller scale, we often apply shredded tree bark chips, or straw to flower beds and vegetable gardens. This serves as litter and helps to keep your soil cooler and moister. Although litter usually helps to make conditions better for plant growth, litter can also have the opposite effect. Yesterday we talked about how plant litter can make growing conditions better for plants, but too much plant litter can have a negative effect on plant growth. Too much litter on the ground can physically prevent roots from reaching the soil, thereby hindering seedling establishment. Some plants have chemicals in their litter that kill other plants trying to grow near them. As the litter breaks down, the chemicals leach into the soil and prevent other plants from growing, kind of like a natural herbicide. Litter may also lead to increases in fungal and bacterial pathogens. Grasses like blue bunch wheatgrass and crested wheatgrass can accumulate standing litter if they are not disturbed periodically by grazing or fire. These so-called wolfie plants have reduced nutritional quality, and often cattle and wildlife will not graze them due to the presence of dead material. Heavy late-season grazing, mowing, or burning will decrease an overabundance of litter and result in greener grass next spring. There is a growing interest in how litter affects weed invasion. Most weeds accumulate a lot of biomass compared to native plants and therefore produce more litter. Weedy litter usually decays more rapidly than native plant litter and has more nitrogen and carbon in it, which leads to faster soil nutrient cycling. Because weeds like a lot of nutrients, they end up benefiting from the decomposition of their own litter. The litter of some weeds, like Russian knapweed, is allelopathic, meaning it has chemicals in it that impede the establishment of other species. When revegetating weed-infested areas, it may be necessary to remove existing litter by mowing or burning to ensure better establishment of desirable species. When trying to prevent weed invasion, litter management can be used to your advantage. In one study, the presence of grass litter reduced the establishment of weeds by 25 to 40% compared to where litter had been completely removed. This would suggest managing your grass to retain some litter in areas that are currently weed-free. Today we will wrap up our discussion of plant litter. As a plant grows, it takes up nutrients from the soil and uses them to build more leaves, stems, fruit, and seeds. When the plant or portions of the plant dies, its litter falls to the soil, returning valuable organic matter and nutrients that will be recycled into more plant material. When managing your land, whether it is rangeland, a hay meadow, or a lawn in town, it is important to leave some litter so the nutrients and carbon can be incorporated back into your soil and soil fertility can be maintained. Leaving some litter will also help maintain healthy soil microbes, conserve soil moisture, reduce soil surface temperatures, and reduce erosion. On the range, timely grazing, proper frequency of grazing, and control of the amount of vegetation removed can greatly enhance the benefits of litter. When mowing your lawn, do not bag your grass clippings and instead allow them to remain as litter. Simple management considerations such as these will allow you to reap the fullest benefits of plant litter. I'm Jane Mangold.